What's going on, guys? Y'all having problems with y'all's Toro Timemaster transmission and or speed control personal pace where it's not going as fast as it used to, or it's not going at all? I might have a quick tip that might save you a whole lot of money. So stay tuned to the end of this video. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Septalon Surgeon. And man, have I got a story to tell y'all, man. I had to snap on an employee. I'm not gonna say the name of the business, because they might get mad and they might complain and try to block my video or whatever, but yeah. As y'all know, I bought my Timemaster from Home Depot, and I got it about a year, a couple months. I think I might have gotten it in like June. Now it's almost September. It was a year and a couple of months. Anyway, after about, I say, like the beginning of this season, March, I can see the speed had been reduced. It was still pulling itself, but it wasn't pulling me. Like, for those of you who have Timemasters, y'all know when you first get it, you almost have to run behind it because it pulls you. And so, yeah, it was just basically going fast enough to pull itself. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. And gradually over the summer, kept getting slower and slower and slower, to the point where on last Friday I went out to cut, and it was just no self-propelled at all. And I had to essentially push it for this job. And so I said, man, I gotta do something. So I sat down and I took it apart right there on site. And I looked at all the belts. All the belts looked good, and you know, I mean, I'm not no mechanic, but everything, it didn't look like it had any loose belts, any broken belts, anything like that. So I assumed it was the transmission. And like I said, so I said I need to call somewhere. I said I'm not taking it back to Home Depot because I know that's not going to get me nowhere. So I said I need to call a dealer. So I called this particular store that's a Toro dealer. And when I first talked to the first customer, the first employee, I told him I needed a transmission for my Toro Timemaster. I want to see how much it costs and how much it would cost if y'all put it in. So this employee was like, what's a Toro Timemaster? I was like, what? Like, it's a lawnmower that y'all sell? I saw it in your store the last time I came there. They were like, oh, okay, let me check with my associates. So he hung up, he called me back about 15 minutes later. Do you have the model number and the serial number? So I went outside, I gave him the model number and the serial number. Okay, let me call you back. Okay. And he called me back third time. He says, I talked to my associates. They said the best thing for you to do is for you to bring it in so we can check it out, because it might be under warranty still. And I was like, well, I gave you my model number, my serial number. Can't y'all just check to see if I have a warranty now? No, we'll have to look at it, or blah, 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 blah. I figured it was just a way for them to try to get my $35, because they said when I drop it off, I had to pay a $35 diagnostic fee for them to check it out or something, whatever. But in my mind, it was Saturday morning, and I needed to get this thing fixed as soon as possible. So I said, even if I drop it off and pay this $35, at least they'll be able to tell me what's wrong with it so I can decide whether I want to order transmission myself and try to put it in, or just get them to fix it. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, I went on down there and dropped it off about 12 o'clock on Saturday. The person I talked to wasn't there, and the person I talked to said they might be able to look at it today to tell me something, but if not, definitely Monday, because that's, you know, that's when most of the mechanics will be back. So I said, okay, cool. So when I got there, that person was gone, and the people that were there, they was like, I don't know what that person was talking about, but there's no way it could get looked at today because we don't have any mechanics here. So I said, all right, cool. Well, I'll leave it here so the mechanics can take a look at it first thing on Monday morning. They were like, yeah, that sounds good. I said, okay. So, you know, they filled out the little paperwork. I left it there. So Monday morning, this morning, around 10:30, I said, well, I'm gonna call up here to kick them in the butt, you know, get them moving on taking a look at my Timemaster so I can know exactly what's wrong with it. So I called up there, this guy in the service department answered the phone. And I said, yeah, my name's, you know, Stacey Flanding. I'm calling to check on my Toro Timemaster that I dropped off on Saturday. He said they would take a look at it on Monday. The guy said, well, we won't be able to look at it for another 2 weeks. I was like, excuse me? Did you say you won't be able to look at it for 2 weeks, or it won't be done for 2 weeks? No, we won't be able to look at it for 2 weeks. There's other people in front of you. I said, what? I said, okay. Number one, I need it back by this week, preferably like Tuesday or Wednesday. Number two, the person that I talked to that told me to bring it up there told me that y'all would look at it, at least look at it on Monday to tell me what's wrong. And he said, I don't know why that person told you that, or blah, blah, blah. I said, well, if I had known that, I wouldn't even bring it up there. So either I need my $35 back, or I need somebody to go out there and look at my mower. He was like, well, I don't know. I'll see what I could do. We might could look at it on Tuesday or something like that. I said, okay, that's fine. He said, well, I'll give you a call back. So I'm sitting, I'm hot. You know, so I'm thinking, I'm gonna call up there and to actually talk to the manager and demand my refund and go get my mower. So the next thing I know, right before I was about to call, my phone rings, and this company, and it's the mechanic. The mechanic is he's telling me, hey, yeah, your lawnmower's done. I was like, what? What do you mean it's done? They just told me it was gonna take 2 weeks before y'all look at it. Yeah, it was done. It was just this cable was loose, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, well, thanks a lot. I'll be up there today to go pick it up. And so now I'm on my way to pick it up. And so basically the mechanic had gave me a brief description of what is usually going on with these Timemasters. Because I get a lot of people telling me that their Timemasters are losing power and they're replacing belts, they're replacing transmissions. And he said I was actually lucky with mine because mine didn't happen with the usual problem. Now, hopefully when I get up there, this mechanic's still up there, so I'm gonna ask him what's going on. But from what I understood, which I didn't really understand it, if you know the Toro Timemaster, or if you have one, the transmission is like a little gray gearbox. That's pretty much the transmission, and then through the gray box is the rear axle. And that rear axle connects from one side to the other, right? And so what he says is the way that it's mounted, there's little gold brackets on the side that mounts this axle to the deck. and the way that it's mounted is putting some kind of stress on that axle. So what ends up happening is the axle breaks. It's not the transmission that's going out, but something happens where the axle breaks, or it gets sheared all the way until it's almost in half or something, he says. Something happens to the axle. Like I said, I don't really understand it. But he said what happened with mine is that my cable came loose and needed to be adjusted. The cable where you push down the personal pace system, it wasn't tight. It needed to be tightened. He said he tightened it real good, so now this thing flies again. So I said, all right, that's fantastic. And but yeah, so that's a little information for the people who have been asking me what's going on, because I didn't know what was going on, and mine's just, you know, bugged out on me. So when I get here, I'm on my way there right now to pick it up, and I'm gonna see if a mechanic's there so I can get a better description of what actually is going on, and then I'll relay that to you guys. All right, talk to y'all in a second. All right, like I was telling y'all, the cable that got adjusted is, you see this, let me get the focus right here. Focus, mofo. Really? There we go. It's this cable right here. And see, when you push, you see that hook? When you push down the personal pace, that hook pulls the cable out of this line right here. And so he said that I guess it must have slid up, because it's pulling it up. So if it slides up, then it makes this have more slack in it. So he must have pushed it down some to give it more tension. And that's really all he did. So if y'all are having problems, the first thing y'all should do is unscrew this nut right here, and then adjust this and play with this and see if that gives you anything. Now, that's the simple fix. The major fix is this. Let me see if I can show y'all the transmission. With one hand, maybe I probably put it up against the van. There we go. All right. So that's the transmission. This is the gearbox, and it's the long rear axle right there. So what he said is, all right, I'm gonna put this down now. All right, what he said is that the way they designed it was a bad design. This axle is supposed to be setting into this wheel a little deeper, but the way they designed it, this axle only comes into the wheel a little bit, to the point where if you're rough with the lawnmower, if you cut it on a hill sideways and whatnot a lot, and or you're turning it roughly, then it'll cause the axle to fall out or come out of the come out of the wheel. And once it comes out the wheel, it's sitting on this sharp gold piece, this bracket, but it's still trying to turn. The transmission's still trying to turn it. And so what happens is, by sitting on this bracket piece, the axle is spinning on this sharp edge, and it just shears it until the point where it just cuts a big gash into it, or it just cuts it completely off, he said. And at that point, you have to get a whole new transmission, because the transmission, that gearbox I just showed you, it's all one piece. It's not like you could just get a new axle and put it back there. That would be easy, but of course they designed it to where the transmission and the back axle is all one piece. So that's where you have to get a new transmission. I looked up transmissions online. They're $150, and it doesn't seem too complicated to do, but you know, that's what it always looks like until you try to put it back together. But if y'all look, my stop button, if I can get this to focus, my stop button's upside down, because this bracket that came loose right here, I put some electrical tape on there, put some electrical tape on here, and the wire right here for the stop, it came out, and I took it apart, put it back together, and I didn't realize till I had it back together that it's upside down. But I'm like, it's whatever, still works, still cuts off. But I'm gonna go ahead and start it up right quick so I can show y'all personal pace system back in action. And there you go. I don't want to make too much noise because, as y'all see, I'm at the local high school, middle school. I'm about to go over here, run me a mile and a half, trying to get in shape, man. I'm gonna be nice and fit for the GIE Expo. Anyway, I hope to help some people. Like I said, the first easy thing to do is fix this. He said, first thing you should do is check your axle to see if your axle's still in place. If your axle's still in place and it doesn't feel like it's loose or anything, then it's most likely this. So hopefully that helps. If y'all got any other questions, leave them in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. Stay tuned. Yes, sir.